Hey folks, AWR Hawkins, Breitbart News. I want to talk to you real quick about Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas's concern that the rights protected by the Second Amendment are starting to be viewed as second or third class rights, right? That the Supreme Court is very eager to protect abortion and the First Amendment and First Amendment rights, free speech, freedom of religion, so on and so forth. Very eager to protect those things. But when it comes to what Clarence Thomas calls the fundamental right to keep and bear arms, he says the court looks the other way. Now, we saw this on Monday. On Monday, the court announced that they were going to pass on 10 cases where gun control was being challenged around the country. These cases were cases against quote-unquote assault weapons bans in Massachusetts, in Illinois. They were cases against different requirements that are put on citizens who want to just get a permit for a gun. Like in New Jersey. You know, in New Jersey, you have to show justifiable need before you're allowed to get a permit for a handgun. You know that? Justice Thomas talked about that and said, what would the court do if someone were saying we need justifiable need in order to speak freely? What would the court do if a state said, well, a woman can't get an abortion unless she shows justifiable need for... You see what he's saying? These were the kind of arguments he was making. What he said is the court would never go for that. But they looked the other way when the laws were requiring citizens to show justifiable need in order to exercise their fundamental right to keep and bear arms. Folks, we've come a long way, not in a good way. It was just in 2010 that we had McDonald v. Chicago, and the court threw out the Chicago handgun ban in that case. They said, you can't do this. They threw it out, and they talked about how fundamental the right to keep and bear arms is. And Justice Samuel Alito, who wrote the majority opinion, said, look, the central component of the Second Amendment is what? Self-defense. It's all fundamental, folks. And this is why Justice Thomas is so worried. Because in things like this, where it should be an easy one, right? It's easy. You can't violate a fundamental right. He sees a court that is quick to protect abortion and quick to protect free speech. But they look the other way when the right to keep and bear arms is on the line.